אני רוצה להזמין לבמה מישהו שיעשה לנו קצת סדר בארגז הכלים שאנחנו צריכים כדי לנהל שיווק היום. את אריאל רוזנשטיין, מנהל שיווק בכיר בסימילר ווב. הוא יציג לנו את ארגז הכלים שדרוש לכם כדי לנהל שיווק אונליין. אריאל, בבקשה.
Shalom, Boker Tov. I'm going to switch to English because it's easier for me and it'll be easier for you to understand. There we go. Okay. Similar Web, in case you don't know us, we measure the digital world. So all of the things that I'm going to show you today, I'm going to show you the marketing toolkit, but I don't want to give you a list of tools. I want to teach you how to use them. I want to teach you how to use data to make better decisions when it comes to marketing. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I sit on all the data. Similar Web, we measure every website, every mobile application. We see entire industries. We see where people are going. We see how traffic flows. And I want to teach you how to use that data. And I want to make you empowered. My clicker is very slow. Just do it manually there. So that you can go to Similar Web or you can go to any of these free websites and try and look up the data for yourself. SimilarWeb.com. It's free. Check it out. That's the end of my commercial. So what are the most important questions that I get asked as head of marketing? Number one, which tools are people checking out? Where can you read more about doing better marketing? One of the hardest things I think to do in marketing today is to market to marketers. We get tons of emails, we get tons of content. We're hit up with so much content and filtering through it all, and I'll show you, what your reading list should look like. When to address mobile web? Is now the time? Have you been putting it off? Have you already made the change? I'll show you some of the stats behind that. And is social synonymous with Facebook? How important is Facebook to social marketing? So what tools to use? Where does traffic come from? If I took all the websites in the entire world and mushed them up and took all their data and compressed it into one sort of flow, this is it. This is the incoming traffic sources for all the websites across the entire world. And we can see that 43% of the traffic comes from direct. These are brands that you know. These are sites that you go to and you visit frequently and you go back and back and back. This includes data from Facebook. This includes data from Globes and TechCrunch and your favorite newspapers. And we can see, okay, how do I attract new audiences? New audiences comes through referrals. It comes through search. It comes through social and advertising. And we can see the amount of traffic that comes from each. So before you start to invest in a new tool, or before you start to invest in a new strategy, you need to take a look at the wider market and say, okay, where can I make the biggest impact by investing in a tool, or by investing in a strategy, or in a specific channel? Because it's not always the same. And we see websites that vary greatly. Huffington Post gets more traffic from social than they do from search. And we see marketing blogs that get more traffic from search than social. And this is just a mush of all the websites in the world, but you can go and you can look for your competitors. You can look at your website, and all of this data is out there and available. So before you start building a marketing plan and a marketing strategy, take a look at the data and see which tools you want to invest in and what's worthwhile. So let's say we're starting fresh. We want to build a new website. We need to pick a CMS. How are we going to pick it? Ease of use. The agency that's going to build it for you, maybe you're going to do it in-house, which technology to choose. And we can take a look, and this comes from our partner site, Similar Tech, the split between enterprise and SMB technologies. And we can see that number one, WordPress dominates both categories. Similar Web's website itself, all of our corporate marketing pages, all of our blogs are run off of WordPress. I'm not promoting them in any way. I'm just saying that they're the biggest. We can see that among the enterprise world, there's a very kind of diverse spread. Drupal has a big market share. IBM is pushing their servers. Greenhouse, Liferay. Among the SMB crew, almost 20%. Think about that. 1 in 5 websites that you visit that are in the top 1 million ranked for traffic among the SMB world are using WordPress. So if you're thinking about choosing a tool, you might want to choose that tool. It's going to have a bigger ecosystem of add-ons. It's going to have solutions for you. It's going to be there for you, and it's going to be ready for your needs. if we look across the entire internet, we can see that almost 9% of the web is running off of WordPress. And then, interesting enough, Tumblr and Israeli companies like Wix are leading the way with build your own websites and making it easy and make it discoverable. So we can see that huge amounts of traffic and huge amounts of web surfers are using these tools to attract audiences. So how do you want to find the top tools with data? So I picked out 4 very hot buzzing marketing tools, and I split it up into 2 kind of graphs. The first one is the total traffic. We have BuzzSumo, we have Octopost, we have AutoSend, and we have VWO. Can I get a poll in the audience? How many people know any of these tools? Only a few people, and this is a marketing conference. I would say not even like 2% of the people here raise their hands. And then we can take a look at the social traffic. What are people recommending? Let's say that I want to find out which topics are buzzing. I want to do some content marketing. I want to look at BuzzSumo. How do I know that BuzzSumo is the place to go? I'm going to trust my peers. I'm going to trust that people are using BuzzSumo. I want to start posting on multiple places. I want to post on Twitter. I want to post on Facebook. I want to post on LinkedIn. I'm going to start looking at Octopost to help me out there. There's AutoSend. AutoSend is an amazing tool that helps you auto-segment your audience. Virtual Website Optimizer is a tool that we use at SimilarWeb to help us do A/B testing to trying out different features within the site. And so we can see here that there's a very different outlook when we look at total traffic versus what our peers are recommending. And if we take one step even further, we can see here that AutoSend is getting 80% of their traffic from a site called Quora. How many people here know Quora? Now we're getting about 30% range. Quora is a great, great tool. It's the Yahoo Answers for serious people. And we see their traffic continuing to skyrocket in SimilarWeb. You can check that out. But we can see that AutoSend is getting a lot of traffic for people who want and have problems in marketing, in segmenting their audience, and in understanding them. And this is the tool that's being highly recommended among people who know. So those are things that you can look for, and these are the tools that you can use. You can go to Quora, you can go on Reddit, you can go on Facebook, and you can ask questions among your peers to find out the best tools to use instead of kind of making these blind decisions. Now, crowdsourcing your reading list. This is an interesting one. I have the top 20 marketing blogs sorted by traffic for the last 3 months. What I'm not showing you is that when I asked my researcher to pull me a list of all the marketing blogs, there were over 500. 500 different sites, 500 different blogs, over 1 million visitors, over 1 million visitors a month writing about marketing. So if you want to reach marketers, this is your competition. If you want to learn about marketing, you have to find the needles in this haystack. And what are those needles? What are people writing about? What are those niches? I created this heat map here about how people find what they're looking for, among these top marketing blogs. And so we can see that roughly 1/3 of all the traffic coming to the site is people who already know those sites. But down the middle, we see the importance of SEO, Read Write, which covers content marketing, Search Engine Land, HubSpot, which writes tons and tons of content about how to do better marketing, gets half of its traffic from search. Seth Godin, one of the, I think, premier marketing minds in the entire world, who's had a blog for a long, long time, writes the stuff that gets shared. 20% of his traffic is coming from social. So we can see here the importance of SEO and of discoverability of your content within the blog sphere. And you can also say, okay, what's the best place to find something? Let's go to Google. Let's take a search. Let's look for exactly what we're looking for, and I'm betting there's going to be an article, especially in the field of marketing. So what are the hot topics? I pulled out a few examples. Search Engine Land is obsessed with mobile get-in. These are the top 3 posts in terms of reads. Is mobile friendly how big is mobile friendly going to be? Penguin or Panda? And here, the 3rd one is also mobile get-in. So people, Google updated their algorithm to say, okay, we're going to favor mobile websites more. And this is all people in the search engine world want to talk about. This is what search engine world readers are looking for. HubSpot. HubSpot wants to help you, even if you're not their customer, how to be more creative. 8 tools, 15 great landing pages, 25 of the best PowerPoint presentations every marketer should see. I probably should have looked at that one before I started this presentation. They want to help you, and there's tons and tons of information there. They teach you how to do better infographics. They teach you all these cool things, and they have all these numbers in their titles because they want you to see lists and lists and lists and lists of useful information. And Moz. Moz is probably the leading thought leader in the world of SEO today, and they're going to tell you the best practices for structuring URLs. They're going to tell you, how to build new title tags. Here's SEO myths. Stop wasting your time. Stop wasting your time. You can read this post and you can see, what's worth investing in, what's not worth investing in. So it leads to the question from Search Engine Land, when do I address mobile web? How important is mobile web? Can I get a raise of hands? I like to do these polls all the time, keep you guys awake. How many people have mobile websites as well as regular websites? 20%. 20%. The answer you should be is 100%. This is Google in the United States. And this is what happened in November 2014. In November 2014, for the first time ever, Google got more traffic to their website, google.com, from mobile devices, this is tablets and telephones, than they did from desktop devices. The change has already happened in the United States. We see now that more traffic comes from mobile than comes from desktop. And when is it going to happen globally? The answer is very, very soon. When I last pulled the data, 46% of all traffic going to google.com globally was from mobile web. So some industries are leaders, some industries lag behind. And we can see here the shopping industry, the e-commerce industry, they're always ones to get into it first. And we can see that 40% of the traffic from the shopping industry is coming from mobile web. We can see Amazon now is at a 50-50 split. eBay not far behind. In China, we see, Taobao is creeping up there, and even Amazon in Germany, we see a 45-55 split. The finance industry, surprisingly enough, is falling behind in mobile web, but if we were to take a look at their mobile app data, we see that actually some of the most used mobile apps in the world are finance apps. People are now banking on their mobile apps. So Wells Fargo, Chase, Citibank have some of the most used apps in America, and I assume that will come to Israel as well, and we'll start seeing, Lumi and Bank Hapoalim as some of the most used apps in Israel. And we can also see travel websites. 40% now of traffic, people come from booking through their iPads, booking through their telephones, making those decisions on the fly. And the next question, is social synonymous with Facebook? So one of the things that you can do is you can decide, okay, I want to do a test. And how much should I invest in Facebook? How much should I invest in Twitter? Which social channel is the most important for me? Which social channel is the most important for my industry? So I want to do a test right now. I want to take a selfie with everybody behind me, so please smile. Oh, reverse the camera. Oh, I've got everybody there. Everybody wave. Okay. As soon as I finish my speech, I will post that on Twitter, and I will post that on our Facebook. And I will then post the results the next day to show where the most traffic came from to similarweb.com. That's a test. That's something anybody can do. You can run a test. You can run some posts. You can do A/B testing with your content on all these different platforms. So what do we see with Facebook? Of course, Facebook is the biggest. And in Israel, Facebook is a very, very popular site. 70%, and this is incoming traffic to social networks, sorted by incoming traffic on the left, goes to Facebook. But we see is a very different map when it comes to outgoing traffic. When you want to turn the social into traffic to your website, to turn that into customers who you can talk to and engage with outside of the framework of the social network, we see very different results. We see Reddit and Twitter and Pinterest, rising up the list, as those are sites that people come, they discover, and then they move on. Of course, Facebook is still 62% of their traffic, so I wouldn't ignore them, and they're an amazing, amazing platform. But we see, it's also worthwhile investing in other platforms. And a lot of times those platforms, depend on, the different industries that you're in. So we can see that Amazon, 260 million referrals from social visits, A third of that comes from Reddit. And we can see 10% comes from YouTube. Posting product videos is a great way in e-commerce to get above the competition and drive people to your site. Twitch TV, 175 million referring social visits, gets 21% of their traffic from Twitter, when people are live streaming video games, they're watching people play video games. And of course, in the porno industry, we see something really crazy. Reddit, probably the second largest social network in the world, is driving 80% of their traffic. Reddit is taking over the porn industry, and they're the key player. They're driving traffic to those sites. So I've got just 1 minute left. I want to explain where all of our data comes from in case you have questions. What we do is we mash up data from 4 different sources. We have our own crawler. We take ISP data that we buy from all our different ISP partners across the globe. We sit on 100 million different devices. We call that our international panel. And we have tens of thousands, I think close to 40 or 50,000 websites that directly connect their data with us. We merge all of that together and we present it to you at similarweb.com. If you have questions or you want to talk to me after, I'm available. And thank you, everybody, and have a good morning.